Holy crap. Holy crap, it's actually happening. A sequel game, or a prequel, to The Forest. Yes! Okay, so clearly there is a lot happening in that trailer that needs to get talked about. Also, apparently I have the Zuma curse, where I'm also losing my voice. We'll figure it out. First and foremost, tactical squads, multiple helicopters. We're seeing a lot of stuff here. Also, shotguns. Tactical shovels. Ooh, yeah. I think that could be awesome. Plus, could that mean that we could now officially do some terrain manipulation? Because that would help out so much with a lot of the builds that I want to do and have wanted to do for years. Like, that would just be a great thing to add to the game, is terrain manipulation. Oh, please let it be true. Please! Now, one of the next things that we see is this Fight Demons tattoo on what is presumably Timmy's arm from the end of the last game. As you all know, there's the ending where Timmy actually survives, but he still has a piece of it, a piece of the artifact still in him, and it's causing him some mutations, and so I'm wondering if this is his way of going through and fighting it. I'm also wondering if the place they're going to and visiting in these helicopters is Site 2 from the end of the last game. It was pinned up on the board. It was clearly a setup for what this could be, so I'm wondering if that is exactly what is happening. One of the next things that we actually see in this trailer is something impacting the helicopter and just taking it down to the ground. But what I did was I went through frame by frame to kind of slow it down, and we can actually see that it is a humanoid and or presumably cannibal that gets tossed or jumps or something up into the helicopter and gets sucked into the blades, and that's what takes it down. Now, you might be asking yourself, if it gets tossed, who's doing the tossing? I'm glad you asked. One of the next things that we see in this trailer is you kind of waking up. You see that new, looks like tomahawk on the ground that we're probably going to have, and then a looks to be giant hand coming out of the woods and grabbing on to a soldier in front of you and just ripping it in. Now, this is a giant hand. I'm fairly certain of that. Whether or not it belongs to a giant creature or some sort of mutant that just has like one giant hand, I'm not entirely sure. Or if the whole thing is just a hand. You ever consider that? It'd be like Thing from the Addams Family. Just a hand. Oh, that would be nasty. I don't think I would like that. So then we move into this sweeping shot. Clearly, again, forest setting. Wonderful, beautiful. But now we got a little more atmosphere to it. It's got a little fog. You can see that there's like little lightning bugs in there. And I really think that they're trying to up the creep factor a little bit in this, you know? Trying to make it feel even more of a horror game. I mean, it's already horrific enough when you're walking through a forest at night with nothing but a little Bic lighter. We gotta step it up. Now we gotta make it foggy. Even harder to see stuff. I love it, but I don't like this. Now, here is something that kind of leaves me feeling confused as to whether or not this is truly the sequel that most people think it is, or if in fact it is going to be a prequel. Because right here, with this woman, we can see what looks to be possibly the early stages of a Virginia-style mutation. Multiple arms, multiple legs. It seems to me like this could be some sort of precursor mutation to that, and or if this truly is Site 2, it may be a break-off strand of what caused the Virginia on this new site that may be more refined, so there's more human characteristics that are kept. I'm not 100% on which way I'm sort of falling on it, but I'm more inclined to think that this is some sort of precursor to the Virginia rather than a refined serum for a Virginia-style mutant that just happens to have more human characteristics. Shortly after that, we see again caves are going to be a very big thing in this I am assuming that just like in the last one, all of the key components will have been dragged and sucked down into the caves, which is where you gotta go venture to find all of the good story bits. But it looks like we are indeed gonna be able to wield that tomahawk. That guy obviously has his nice little shotgun that I'm very excited to use, although really hoping that it doesn't become like we just have guns throughout the entirety of the thing. We did see at least 2 choppers, and one of them went down, so another reason I think this could be still a precursor. It could explain the chopper that crashed into the sinkhole. So again, there's enough similarities to where I'm still not wholly convinced it's a sequel yet. I am predominantly leaning that way, but I'm keeping an open mind that this may also be a prequel series. Since we only saw one of those helicopters crash in the trailer so far, we know there's a crashed helicopter in the sinkhole. Could it in fact be some sort of prequel, especially with the Virginia mutants? I don't know. But if that's the case, how come I never found this tomahawk or shotguns or any of this armor? Like, if we can have this armor running around, that would be great. Probably last up a little better than some bones. Finally, inside of this cave, we see a bunch of these like humanoids. Again, I'm hesitant to call them mutants because it seems like they're almost in a metamorphosis or transition state where they might be turning into the cannibals, but they're not quite fully formed yet. To the point where I say metamorphosis because it looks like their skin has gone almost like a cocoon style over their face. Their eyes are covered, the mouth is covered. It looks like maybe stuff is still forming behind it, and then when that's ready, maybe they'll emerge from this. That's just wild speculation on my part, but I think that would be kind of cool, actually. They seem very gaunt and reminiscent, especially in the way that they have their movements of the cannibals from the other island. I'm actually wondering if we're going to find out that the stuff that Sahara had on the first place that we went to in the Forest 1 game was actually some sort of mutagen that got released onto the island, because they never really discussed what the cannibals or mutants were, how they got there, the techniques they were using to experiment on them. We're led to believe that it may have been the artifact, but if it's so widespread, was it just like the artifact seeping into the ground around it, or was it mass released? So if we go with that theory, that it was actually something that Sahara made utilizing the artifact, but produced it, mass produced it, then Site 2 could just be another location where it got dropped and released and they're hoping for some sort of better result? I'm not entirely sure, but obviously Fight Demons over here wants to go kick some ace. Okay, so those are all of my at least initial thoughts seeing this. I'm sure I'll have more as I kind of watch through it a couple more times or as new stuff gets released. But those are my initial thoughts and reactions. And I know I'm a little late to the game on this one, but I really just wanted to make sure that some of that got out there, because I'm still not seeing some of these theories that I'm talking about today represented in other videos, and I just kind of want to like throw more at the board just to get more conversations happening, you know what I mean? So if you enjoy Forest content, I've got a whole first season with like 40 plus episodes, plus I'm working on season 2 right now. If you want to see more of that, hit subscribe down below, hit that bell icon. That's all from me. Don't forget to love each other. 1K in 2020. Let's make it happen with the help of all of you. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.